educated, from history I have come. I built the Rock of Ages, 'twas in the year of one. That's about the biggest thing that man had ever done. I worked in the Garden of Eden, it was the year of two. Joined the Apple Pickers Union, I always paid my due. And the man had signed the contract to raise the rising sun. That was about the biggest thing that man had ever done. I was straw boss on the pyramids and the Tower of Babel too. Opened up the ocean, let the migrant children through. I fought 1,000,000 battles and I never lost a one. That was about the biggest thing that man had ever done. I beat the daring Roman, I beat the daring Turk. Defeated Nero's army with 30 minutes work. I fought the greatest leaders and licked them every one. That's about the biggest thing that man had ever done. I was in the revolution when we set the country free. It was me and a couple of Indians that dumped the Boston Tea. We won the battle at Valley Forge and battle of Bull Run. That's about the biggest thing that man had ever done. There's a man across the ocean and I guess you know him well. His name is Adolf Hitler and damn his soul to hell. We'll kick him in the panzers and put him on the run. That'll be the biggest thing that man has ever done. Mines and mills and factories that run for Uncle Sam, producing for the soldier boys that fight for this great land. Our job, it is a tough one, it'll take us every one. But this will be the biggest thing that man has ever done. There's warehouse guys and teamsters and guys that skin the cats, guys that run the steel mills, the furnace and the blast. We'll stop the axis rattlesnakes and thieves of old Nippon. That'll be the biggest thing that man has ever done. Well, I better quit my talking 'cause I told you all I know. Please remember, partner, wherever you may go, the world is digging Hitler's grave, and when the job is done, that'll be the biggest thing that man has ever done. Yes, that'll be the biggest thing that man has
Is it okay for me to move it a little bit, or is that going to mess it all up? I can't. Well, I can on my tiptoes. Okay, that's good. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Welcome to Sweetwater. It's nice to see all of you. I think you all know me. So I wanted to take a minute to ask, well, it's a rhetorical question. Why are we having a fundraiser for a performing arts center that's going to be created in Lowell, Massachusetts? And I wanted to tell, and I wanted to tell a little bit about how this came about. So many of you might know our talent buyer, Chris Porter. Chris is on the board of the Jack Kerouac Center Foundation. And when he told me that, I said, oh, we should do something for that here. And I said, let's pick Jack Kerouac's birthday, March 12th. And then he said, oh, and let's invite Ramblin Jack to play. And that's perfect. And why it's perfect to do here, because some of you may or may not know that Jack Kerouac lived in Mill Valley. And he spent quite a few years here. And thanks to the Mill Valley Historical Society and the Mill Valley Library, I put up some materials here on the side, and I encourage you to go look at them and read the descriptions of the house that Jack Kerouac lived in at 370 Montford Avenue. And so, it made sense that he spent time here, and he loved Mount Tam, he loved Mill Valley and Marin County. And there is an oral history at the Historical Society here in Mill Valley from a man named, I believe it's John McCorkle, and I believe he's still alive. John lived in that house with him. And I would encourage you to go to the website, and you can listen to the transcript of the oral history where he tells all these amazing stories about the time that they lived in the house together. So Jack Kerouac, of course, writes the book, The Dharma Bums, and that is all about his time in Mill Valley. In the book, he doesn't say it's Mill Valley. He actually says it's Corte Madera, but we know that it was actually this house in Mill Valley. And he gave all of the characters in the book fictional names, but the truth is that they are based on the people who lived in the house with him and the community he engaged with. So we're here tonight to celebrate him, and we obviously had a great impact on his life, the beauty of Marin County and Mill Valley, and he in turn, of course, had tremendous cultural impact on the world. So I am now going to pass it over to a poet by the name of Evan Kennedy, who is going to do some readings of his original work. And then we're going to, of course, hear from our beloved Ramblin Jack. And I hear he has a few anecdotes for us about his time with Jack Kerouac. So thank you so much for coming.
All right, hello everyone. You holding up okay? More or less? Okay, I'll take that. 22 years ago, when I first saw Ramblin Jack Elliott in concert, I did not anticipate that I would be invited to read poems to open for him, but I'm very grateful for this opportunity and to see you. I'm gonna try to rise to the occasion and celebrate the creative genius of American music, of American vision. And I'm just gonna read a few poems about the kind of music I like. Play me Charlie Patton's High Water Everywhere, because it's still flooding somewhere. Leave no spot of land in sight, then how about you take me to the place where the Titanic, that great ship, went down? Or Raisin Island, where engine 143 crashed? Or take me to where the old 97 wrecked, going 90 miles an hour? Or take me to the place where John Henry dropped dead after defeating the steel drill? I am from a place where they put traffic cones on self-driving cars. Nothing is heroic, and I need to hide a while. I'm thinking of these American ballads as kind of an alternate geography superimposed upon our own. You know, you open up your phone, You have the street view, the satellite view, and there's almost the American mythological folkloric view. So with that in mind, let's go to St. Louis, 1899. This is about Frankie and Albert. You tell me local news about a woman named Frankie shooting her lover, whose name is, oh yeah, Albert. I ask then what so much you repeat yourself to help your memory and emphasize the drama. Then you add dialogue, acting out death scenes before Albert actually dies. You are raising your voice while I look at you silently. You sound like a stranger, or like Frankie, or maybe like buskers on street corners who steal your verses, then place the shooting at a pool room, ballroom, brothel, alley, drugstore. Then add ice cream parlors and weepy gravesite visits, stealing something inherent to you. You sound so much like a spurned lover. I ask, why did you kill him? You say they sing that I sobbed and cried, but that's wrong. I felt terrible, but had to protect myself. Strangers now sing the ballad to my face. So Frankie is put on trial on Friday the 13th. She's acquitted. The ruling is self-defense, and the judge even gives Frankie her gun back, while later renditions of the ballad put her sobbing in the electric chair. So I understand the desire to stack up your hair for the talent show, your teenage hands pounding an upright piano to your howling. This is Hibbing High School, 1950-something. Voice breaking, echoing around the gym with your group, the Shadow Blasters, and everyone's embarrassed for you, Robert Zimmerman. In otherworldly collision of styles, in reckless assertion of independence or self, you were dressed in dreams, transformation, and surrender, but I wear lies, and I pursue you for your Ray-Bans, your hat, or lyrics, the chord changes you ripped off, but I cannot follow you through your transformations and escapes. So in 2005, thank you. That was probably more applause than what Bob Dylan got at the Hibbing High School talent show, so I appreciate that. In 2005, when I was a kid, all I had was the last name of a president and a band. At CBGB, it was little more than an open mic. I tell the audience, we are the Patriot Act. It was 2005. We are the Patriot Act, and we will now perform for you the songs for the war that you failed to prevent. And then there was just silence. Maybe a few coworkers from the Strand bookstore cheering. So I'd been playing a black Stratocaster from my parents for rhythm guitar to Keith's lead, but the output jack kept failing. The connection was breaking while we were setting up, so I had to stand on stage without an instrument. I no longer have a barrier or weapon between the audience and me. It's unnerving to do this without any preparation, but I take to it and I prowl the stage and convulse, yelling into the mic, and I was feeling 10 feet tall with so much noise behind me from Keith, Imogen, and Ed. So unfortunately, the Patriot Act are so loud that the lyrics I spent so much time working on cannot be understood at all. After my intro about the war on terror, we start Guess What's Next? And I'm yelling, Golden Gate Bridge, Seattle Space Needle, Empire State Building. I was scared about what was happening in the country, and I'm still scared, and I'm feeling pretty elegiac these days. There was this drunk friend of mine. He was looking to create a scandal, so he yelled, he was looking to help us, really, by creating a scandal. And he yelled, "These colors don't run," and he throws a glass at the foot of the stage. So I jumped down. I'd already been performing barefoot as a way to ground myself, but when I land, nothing cuts me. I heard glass breaking, but my feet don't get cut on any broken pieces. It's like the glass evaporated and our noise and rage had something to do with it, or everything to do with it. I thought we were so visionary in that it was a way to shape a life. I know you can only play each song a few times before the acetate wears away and breaks. I try hearing through the crackling to envision the woolly chaps from a shaggy white buffalo, then the white cowboy hat you wear while drawling to the same picking pattern about passengers on a hell-bound train or failed love. You hold a Shih Tzu and have a vacant, dumb look in this picture I love of you. I'm talking about Frank Hutchison, whose rendition of Stack of Lee is on the Harry Smith anthology. In this picture, he has this vacant, dumb look. You're not aware you should be posing. It's like you're unaware when you were born or died. Maybe you were born in the South and died in the North, in the only country founded as a dream. I dress in nothing but dead of night black, so you'll be with me when whatever deal goes down. Will you take me to the place where Sweet William and Barbara Allen were buried? Will you take me to Charlottetown, to Scarlet Town, to Scarred Town, then every town in every variation, the river for song and the land for crime? I am a stranger as I read from a meaningless map these places that will not welcome me without you taking me to them as my guide. And if somewhere along the way I met my ancestors, and if they were decent and not disappointed by how I turned out, and if they asked me to convince them that they made the right choice to leave home for a country overseas, what would I say? My ancestors took drags off cigarettes and gave border collies a good scratch behind the ears while mist overwhelmed the canals and buskers of Galway. I could feel them when I visited as a tourist, but where I come from, they would be disoriented as you've been lost in places you thought you knew, running among the mysteries and guarding them, believing they are the mundane, looking within your being like you're not becoming a stranger that moment, pushed back in time so these clothes, these boots look fresh. In Nashville, where I got this hat with a terrific hangover after a night of honky-tonking, I saw Johnny Cash's report card. He got a C in American history, but he got an A- in Latin. I was trying to figure out how you say in Latin, but teacher, you don't understand. I am American history. I recently read a biography about the great banjo picker, early country singer Charlie Poole. And these poems are very easy to write because he had such a fascinating life. So this is for and about Charlie Poole. You're walking toward me, reshaping my destiny. It's like lifting a river and moving it over one town. In days that they say is to come, when the smiles and forms I've seen lie in cold, mossy ground. Your broken fingers healed into a natural picking position. Leaksville, Spray, and Draper merge into a town that everyone agrees to call Eden. Why? Because there's no other Eden around. You're charging 5 cents per shoe shine to buy a $15 guitar that lights up your eyes, marking your forehead with dust from the dusty road. The times when joining the carnival was an actual career option came long before the time when the carnival invaded our daily lives. Mountains going red from the rose that pokes through my clothes, though it's really the rosy sunrise behind me, that intense light that blinds and makes it difficult to see my face and whether I'm being sincere. I'm not there. If you have change for a 5, how about you just give me 2? You sit at a desk learning to write your name so you can sign a contract with Columbia Records. After all you lose, a little can carry over, and all you or really anyone can do is hope that it's essential to your life, secreted away from nosy eyes. a second for Charlie. Cigar box guitar, bowed with a branch strung with hair from a horse's tail in Sophia, West Virginia. Your task as a trapper is to keep the miners supplied with air. When your wages are stolen, of course, this can only happen in Sophia. Wise up and return to the mountains, playing on a car's running board until the sun rises. Your rivals are coming from deeper in the mountains. They have gigantic, muddy-laced boots up above their knees. You could use some good witnesses trying to read scratched-up matrix numbers, recording without electricity, just playing into a horn large enough to capture vibrations. The town you pass through is pronounced fries in summer and freeze in winter. You'd even insult a statue. You're out of your mind with true belief. A 16-year-old named Branch begs you to teach him banjo. He's got the ancient understanding he belongs to a rich tradition, and he's the archetypal kid just arrived from nowhere who needs to convince his hero of his potential. I think of Ramblin Jack approaching Woody Guthrie and also Bob Dylan approaching Woody Guthrie, which may have been my favorite scene of A Complete Unknown. Okay. Thank you. How distant are these songs from your life? Have their lyrics capitulated to those in power, or do they exist in a shadow culture, an invisible mythology that is the country's undercurrent, an underground river? And if so, how have they fought off assimilation? Because I do not see them in the songbooks of those who could destroy us and get away with it. Your songs are also weak, a weak force that works invisibly, because it is not apparent when hearts are moved, if being moved does not affect change, the instant rebirth of this passing world, a tactile paradise. Songs demand a transformation of spirit through disobedience, an inner kingdom with a headless king. Because otherwise my heart would harden, and that would be the realest evil, the truth I mustn't embody. Though I have felt persuaded otherwise, in moments I'm torn, my inner life under threat, when my soul's worn down and I'm told to answer. So last weekend, in case you're wondering about the sunburn, I was in Joshua Tree, and I had a deeply impactful experience, and I was thinking a lot about Graham Parsons. And you can stay in the room he passed away in at the Joshua Tree Inn. I believe it's room number 8, but really Graham is everywhere, even here. So I wanted to think about his embroidered suit, the nudie suit from Nashville, that was embroidered with his obsessions. There's the pills and the marijuana leaf and that gigantic Technicolor cross on the back. And I bumped into a hiker who had a shirt with Graham wearing that suit on him. So I want to dedicate this poem that I wrote in Joshua Tree last weekend to him, an embroidered suit. Dress me in it. Dress me in your suit, plain and white, and embroider pills, crosses, cow skulls, and cacti if you are in Michigan and play Pursuit of a Unicorn. I'll see what you embroider from Tennessee rivers sent by rail. I wish I could hold you, win your trust, even in South Carolina motorcycle boots, dressed up in ballad structures, finding me in Alabama with your timeless, I know something you don't look. You see through to essential forms, living again after death in Washington, playing the unfortunate rake, looking out hospital window from airplane, running from warrants and debts. Unjust in Pennsylvania, it's death in Texas. Jumping fences, I need to hear from you, the unwelcome guest. Sit down and eat. From pan you lift, from Arkansas or Oregon river snow melt, forgetting the season we met. Your decision to leave through mud, out of fire or earshot of Ohio. Arizona briars, once embroidered, grow over my suit. Night sky undiminished by light off Earth's surface walks down Dakota mountain or from even higher, unquestioned by a youth cut down in their prime. You're slipping the con for no reason. It's a little cruel. You sense loss, like looking at a mansion on a hill while crossing the street in all of South Carolina to avoid a cop. Cross embroidered onto me, marking where California mushrooms grow. Illusion or unseen plane of being. I pull the thread, you're just above me, holding a crystal or ignited Roman candle, stars, gunfire on high wattage Hawaii station, picking up lakes upon Chartrain. Burning Rome on radio play, that's the way our fates change. Then play me maker of the tree when you arrive in Kansas. Rainbow come full circle behind your head like thought bubble or sunset. Walking wounded, you know Mississippi, and you end your reading. Red threads for gunshots on lapel. Do you mourn a little when you sew them on, or is it just a tragic mistake? And if so, what am I your patsy for? We might still conspire on fatal garden flower at a cutout green Camelot in Vermont. Snake in New Hampshire, ash I sit beneath. Curious if you'll embroider it on my suit. Only you, while you ride the train with my hotel reservation for tomorrow. The rose I picked looked sick in New York, pushed through my suit. Or was it the needle you forget to remove while tailoring? I'd rather pick a peach in Connecticut for you to embroider on my tattooed chest. Thank you. Thank you, Graham. And Connecticut. All right, 2 poems about Hank Williams, Sr. And these are true. You registered at the Adolphus Hotel as Herman P. Willis. That is not your name. And you had on your dark glasses and your hat down low because you cheated a booker from Dallas whose name is Jack Ruby. You're looking around just to see yourself for your reflection. You pronounce Armageddon, I am begotten, and sing lonesome like a train whistle. They say you entered a diner in Bristol, Tennessee, 1 a.m., hours after you died. You were looking for someone to share the drive to Canton. Apparently, this wasn't your ghost. You were mistaken for your driver who'd been at the wheel for almost 24 hours straight. A driver whose last name was Carr. Like names are inconsequential. Your driver started feeling apprehensive with you in your white felt hat and blue serge suit, breathing heavy and unevenly in the back seat with a terrible pain in your head. It's gonna get to the point where we're indistinguishable from each other, though we will have parted and might even diverge from society in the way that birds and people talk to each other in old ballads. You will live against reason in the core of these stories and trivia in times and circumstances I could never expect. All right, thank you for your attention. I appreciate it.
Hiya. How's it going? Thanks. So, yeah, it's not easy these days, is it? We're going to try to help out here. Music, you know? So, yeah, we're going to open up with a song that you probably know. But I just want to say one thing first. This is for the Jack Kerouac Foundation. I was 13 when On the Road came out and 14 when the Dharma Bums came out. And there's a line from the Dharma Bums that I absolutely love, which is, "You can't fall off a mountain." And I never knew until tonight that that referred to Mount Tam. Anyway, yeah, so this song helped a lot of folks in the Vietnam conflagration, helped them get through it, and I bet you know it. And if you feel like singing on the choruses, we'll have the verses covered. Don't worry about the verses. But the choruses really sound great if you want to sing along. Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. We can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Oh, the bird is on the wing. We may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go. We will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. We hold the key to love and peace, all in our trembling hand. And just one key unlocks them both. It's there at our command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Yeah, everybody try to love. Sounds good. Right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now. All right, you guys, sounding good. Thank you. All right, well, these guys are my band, The Bunch. Paul Knight over here on the bass. Kendrick Freeman back on the drums. Sean Allen, the Telecaster master. Yeah.
That's Lowell Levenger up there, everybody. Lowell Levenger.
Well, any of you guys have phones? You got them on you? I got mine on me. It's right here. But it's in silent mode, so don't worry. But yeah, so I wrote this song about phones. Nobody looks up, nobody watches where they're going. It doesn't matter if it's sunny or even if it's snowing. They might slip or trip or even have a collision. They're completely unaware with no peripheral vision. Whether it's Germany or France, it's as if they're in a trance, and they can't stop to take a glance or do a dance or make romance. Glued to a screen, ignoring the scene, or missing the sights of both day and night. Ears blocked with buds, they can't hear the traffic, but they're happily immersed in their fascinating graphics. Whether it's Italy or Spain, could be riding on a subway or a train, or whether they're together or alone, they won't look up or put down that phone. It's a global fixation, surely not recreation. It seems I'm clearly in danger of being smacked by a stranger. They're doing Facebook and Twitter, Instagram and Snapchat, without the slightest inkling of where they're actually at. Nobody looks up, nobody watches where they're headed. They're glued to that phone, and it's impossible to shed it. They're just walking along, listening to their favorite song. They're looking at the screen, I think you know what I mean. Nobody looks up, nobody looks up. Yeah, thank you. Well, one of my idols was Merle Haggard, or was Merle Haggard. I even wrote an homage to him, but we're not going to do that one tonight. But yeah, I mean, he just wrote these great songs. This one just epitomizes the so many songs, you know, unrequited love that leads to a life of addiction and ruin. This song fucking nails it. Each night I leave the barroom when it's over, not feeling any pain at closing time. But tonight your memory left me much too sober. I couldn't drink enough to keep you off my mind. Tonight the bottle let me down, and let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. I've always had a bottle I could turn to, and lately I've been turning every day. But the wine don't take effect the way it used to, and I'm hurting in an old familiar way. Tonight the bottle let me down, and let your memory come around. The one true friend I thought I'd found. Tonight the bottle let me down. All right. Thank you. Sean Allen over there, channeling Roy Nichols. Well, I think this is maybe the quintessential San Francisco song we're about to do here about a home run hero. Everybody loved him so much, Willie Mays. 1, 2, 3. It was a foggy day around the San Francisco Bay when Home Run Willie came to town to play. And with the mighty swing and the pride of a fallen king, Home Run Willie put the game away. He just a tired old man, was a word in the grandstand. And know he's 2 years over the hill and he's getting gray. He was a hands down best, now Willie needs a little rest. It broke their hearts to see him play in this way. Through their dogs and their beers, they'd followed his whole career. Every story about the glory days was told. Through their beers and their dogs, they sat in the candlestick fog, and they gave old Willie hell for getting old. Then a pitching call sent Willie to the plate, 2 on and 2 out at the top of the 8th. He thought of the cheers that had filled his ears, a hometown hero for so many years. Till they traded him off with a lie and a nervous cough for a paltry sum, a rookie bum from the east. And then he came back home to the town he called his own, where they still had eyes to see more beauty than beast. He took his stance, he dug right in, his feet spread wide and his eyes were grim. He thought of the cheers that had filled his ears, a hometown hero for so many years. It was 3-1 when Home Run Willie swung, but it went 4-3, 400 feet away. And with a mighty swing and the pride of a fallen king, Home Run Willie put the game away. He headed for first, hey, he could hit in a pinch. He shook his tail at the Giants bench. He hit second and third with cheers in his ear, a hometown hero for so many years. Then when he touched home, young of heart and strong of bone, all the bleacher bums got the point like a bayonet. They saw their worn out star, say, hey, Willie, there you are. And just like a walk-in Hall of Fame with the New York men. It was a sunny day, all the fog had burned away, when Home Run Willie left the park that day, where with a mighty swing and the pride of a fallen king, Home Run Willie put the game away. Home Run Willie. Well, the same guy who wrote Get Together wrote this next song. It's hard to believe this guy could write songs like this. He was one mean motherfucker. He used to walk around the village with a great big Bowie knife strapped to his belt right out there, and a really mean expression on his face. And he wrote Get Together, and then he wrote this thing, which is like the most charming children's song. It's just, you know, you can't, I couldn't resist. Theirs is a pretty house, theirs is in a pear tree, full of pears is. For they're birds, you see, and they live in a tree, so they never need ladders or any stairs in. Theirs is a pretty house, theirs is, and they never have no worries or cares is. For pears are free to birds, you see, and they never have to run away from bears is. Theirs is a little house, theirs is, with little bird tables and chairs is. Did you ever see a house as free around here or any other wheres is? Birdses. All right, it's time, folks. I'm going to call up the man.
The man who needs no introduction, so I won't give him one. Ramblin Jack Elliott.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mary. Hello, Allison. Hello, June. Sorry, Ann wasn't able to come. Wow. Thank you, Paul. You could introduce everybody when the time comes.
Okay, we did that.
Sounds like you got all the strings on there.
Thanks for getting everything warmed up.
I've only got 5.
I guess y'all know this is for Jack. Oh, yeah. They're evidently they're
Maybe a little less of my guitar in the monitor, if you please. Per favore. Grazie.
Sorry, Jack, that was a very slick beginning.
cool. I got a new hearing aid, and I used to love sound, and I was a music lover for a while, too. I loved all kinds of sound and noise, and I spent a lot of time trying to reproduce sound effects that I heard, like certain machinery, like steam engines, airplane, motors.
There's one that's really great. What I'm trying to think of the one you do. There's a sound effect you do that's really fantastic. Which one is it? You remember?
The baseball crowd,
Could be, yeah.
that one?
Yeah, or stadium, maybe.
Yeah, there was, I never understood baseball, but I was living about 3 miles down Bedford Avenue from Ebbets Field when the Brooklyn Dodgers were playing there. And I never understood baseball, and I'd only been to about one game there. And but this is the sound of the crowd when Pee Wee Reese hit a ball out of the park and broke a glass window in the dry cleaning establishment across the street on Bedford Avenue from 3 miles down Bedford Avenue. That's about as close as I ever got to baseball. On my way to Italy from the Gulf of Mexico, riding on a tanker, feeling mighty slow. My good gal behind me, no loving for so long. I'm going back to Texas, 'cause that's where I belong. Nights are so lonesome on the ocean. Too much time to dream of yesterday. of Mexico, riding on a tanker, feeling mighty low. My good gal's behind me, no loving for so long. I'm going back to Texas, 'cause that's where I belong. I never thought when I was leaving I could get so blue out on the sea. But I bet you after all this grieving, it's that good old Texas soul for me. Good old Texas soil for me. Ernest Tubb. He was one of my singing heroes when I was a kid, and I always tried to sing like Ernest Tubb, and I had a few of his records, and that was one, of course. And I never got to meet Ernest Tubb, but I saw him from a distance in his record shop one time, and he did a radio program from the record store. The store was full all the way from the stage to the back door. The front door, the street, I was barely standing in the doorway. I got to see his bus later, but he wasn't on it at the time. Cool bus. I see the next song on this list here was my first favorite Woody Guthrie song that I learned off of one of Woody's records before I even met him. It's called Hard Traveling. I don't think I can sing it now. Maybe later. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Paul Knight is my fret coordinator. Without Paul, I couldn't fret at all.
Are you sure?
Well done. Boy.
I didn't mention to make sure that no little flashing lights headed up our way. I'm going to mention it now. So, yeah, we stow our eye devices at Jack shows. Well, you learn the hard way. You sound pretty damn good, Jack. You don't think you can sing that song too? I won't force you.
Yeah, that's one of the best songs Woody wrote, I think, and it was the first one I ever learned, and I used to sing it ad infinitum,
Either way.
infideum,
Probably did both.
all day long. And then I met a guitar player who knew Woody, and he was one of the best guitar players around, Tom Paley. He was a founding member of the new Lost City Ramblers. And he gave me Woody's phone number, so I called him up one day, called Woody up and told him I got the number from Tom Paley, and I had one of his records, and I sure liked the way he played and sang, and wondered if it'd be okay to, well, Woody, I don't know what he said. He said something like, come on over to the house and bring your guitar and we'll knock off a couple of tunes, but don't come today, I got a bellyache. Something, words to that effect. Turned out he had appendicitis, and he was in a hospital for about a week. And I tried to go visit him. I eventually did go visit him in the hospital. I brought my guitar along, of course, and I was going to serenade him there. But he saw the guitar. He says, don't make any noise. The guy in the other bed here just got off the operating table. But we eventually made friends, and I spent the best part of the next 3 years hanging out with Woody and his family. Arlo was about 3 years old, and Jody and Nora Lee were even smaller. Of course, they're big now. Everybody's getting bigger. Danville girl. Danville girls. As I went down to the railroad yards to watch the trains roll by, I knew a train would roll that day, but I did not know what time. Good morning, Mr. Railroad Man. What time does a train roll by? 9:16 to 44, 25 minutes till 5. Well, at 9:16 to 44, 25 minutes till 5. Thank you, Mr. Railroad Man. Wanna watch your train roll by. I was standing on the platform, smoking a big cigar, waiting for the next freight train to carry an empty car. And I rode her down to Danville town, got stuck on a Danville girl. You could bet your life she was out of sight. She wore that Danville curl. She wore her hat on the back of her head like high-toned people do. But the very next train come down that track, I bid that girl adieu. I run on down to the red. I forgot the words, I forgot the tune, but I'll never forget that girl. I was thinking about Jack. I'll never forget that guy, Kerouac. I never got to know him very well, but we had a couple of good times together. I remember one time he was in love with my girlfriend, Helen. Maybe that's how I met him in the first place. I think she knew him before I met her. He come over to the house one day with a box full of paper. Thanks for coming. It was a manuscript. It wasn't the roll. It was just a stack of paper about a foot thick. And I remember it took us 2 days to get through it. We took turns reading. I read a page, Jack read a page, I read a page. Took a sip of wine, Jack read a page. And it took us about 2 days or 3 days to get through reading that. And that manuscript was a book it was writing called On the Road, and that was in 1953. And it wasn't till 1957 I was already growed up. I was 24. I thought I was growed up. I was married. I was traveling around Europe. We were going, me and my first wife, June, we were on a Vespa going from Italy, heading north into Switzerland.
Two
in the
people and a
wintertime.
guitar.
And we got cold and decided to stop in a little restaurant and get some nice warm soup to warm up bones. And we were sitting in this restaurant, and I saw an Italian newspaper. I didn't speak much Italian. I couldn't read it hardly, but there was a picture of Jack Kerouac in the newspaper, and it said, in English, it said, On the Road. And I was so excited to see Jack's picture. They finally had released the book, On the Road. And I yelled at my wife, who was sitting right across the table from me. And you know, American people over there and British people and people from Scandinavia, when they're in Italy, they're very polite and they're very quiet and very shy. And here I am yelling at my wife from 2 feet away. Hey, it's Jack! There he is! My God, there's Jack! Everybody smiled. Everybody warmed up. They weren't used to having foreigners yelling to their friend from 2 feet away. So I learned something right then and there. And later, Allen Ginsberg came over and gave a reading at the American Bookstore in Paris, and I did a little reading of On the Road with Allen and Gregory Corso at that time in the American Bookstore. It was, I think it was on the Rue Hachette in the French Quarter of France. There's Railroad Bill.
I got you doing some finger picking.
Don't think twice.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay, good. You got to move up. You got to take off.
Same key, right?
No. Take it off.
Take it off. We got the keys that please. Ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. sit and wonder why, babe. It'll never do somehow. When your rooster crows, break of dawn, look out your window, I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's alright. And it ain't no use in the calling out my name, gal, like you never done before. Ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, 'cause I can't hear you anymore. Thinking and wondering, walking down the road, how I once loved a woman, a child, I'm told. I gave her my heart, but you wanted my soul. But don't think twice, it's all right. And it ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, like you never done before. Ain't no use in calling out my name, gal, 'cause I can't hear you anymore. Thinking and wondering, walking down the road, how I once loved a woman, a child, I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's all right. So long, honey, babe. Where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye is too good a word, babe. So I'll just say fare thee well. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kind of wasted my precious time. Don't think twice, it's all right. That was by Bob Dylan. Thank you. Wow. Good coffee. Well, and Bobby McGee. This is in the same old People's key of C. It's a song that was written by Chris Christopherson, me, and Bobby McGee. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, headed for the trains. feeling nearly faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed a diesel down just before it rained. Took us all the way to New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana and was blowing sad while Bobby sang the blues. Them windshield wipers slapping time and Bobby clapping hands, we finally sang up every song that driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. And Betty, that was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. From the coal mines of Kentucky to the California sun, Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Standing right beside me, Lord, through everything I'd done. And every night she kept me from the cold. Oh, but somewhere near Salinas, Lord, I let her slip away. Looking for a home I hope she'll find. And I'd trade all my tomorrows for a single yesterday. Holding Bobby's body close to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing left was all she left for me. Feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. And buddy, that was good enough for me. Good enough for me and Bobby McGee. Me and Bobby McGee, Chris Christopherson.
What did they use? You told me
Cuckoo.
something about Jack and
That's it. Yeah.
I bet I'll be your baby tonight.
oh,
Hey, minor.
hey, my Cooder would do cuckoo.
Cuckoo. Well, the cuckoo, she's a pretty bird, and she warbles as she flies, but she never says cuckoo till our 5th day of July. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, I've gambled in England, and I gambled in Spain. If I ever gamble, I will win your next game.
I didn't plan for you to need to stop when I delivered that. There's 4 other guys here. They would have just kept on up.
I thought that was the end of the song.
Now, you told us something backstage about Jack Kerouac and a poem
Poem,
and an album.
an album? Oh, I was recording an album for an East company in Germany, and my friend Barbara Dodge was with me, and she thought of this title for the album because based on something that Jack had written called A Book of Dreams, in which he listed about 100 different dreams that he'd had. And dream number 37, he said he dreamt that I had an album out, a brand new album had just released. Excuse me. And I was visiting Jack at his mother's house. Excuse me. And we were celebrating my new album by eating peaches and spitting the pits out on the ground. And there was quite a large pile of peach pits on the ground, and we were celebrating this alleged new album that I had just come out with in Jack's dream. So Barbara Dodge created that title based on that true fact that he had that dream. And the title of the album was called Kerouac's Last Dream. It was actually his 37th dream, but Barbara is a poet, and she has the right to play with words. And when she was a kid up in Canada, she saw Winston Churchill in his underwear. So I don't ever argue with Barbara. True story. Yeah.
One more in you?
Yeah. One time I hitchhiked up here from L.A. I'd been living down there in Topanga, and Pete Seeger was playing in a little storefront in Sausalito. And I came up to see Pete. And I think I fell asleep and slept through most of his concert because I had had a long, slow hitchhiking trip up. But at the end, he did a song that woke me up. It was a wonderful song called Abiyoyo. And I was wide awake at the end of Abiyoyo. And I got to talk to Pete a little bit. And he recommended that I go see a concert that was taking place the next day over in Berkeley at some college or high school auditorium. And it was a blues man from Kansas City. And I went there, and I enjoyed the blues man from Kansas City, but they had an unmentioned addition to the program, a local guy from Oakland named Jesse Fuller, who was a one-man band. He played on 5 instruments at the same time. He wasn't exactly local. He was originally from South Carolina. He worked on the railroad there and sang railroad songs and blues, and he was amazing. And he did this song, which I eventually learned, called the San Francisco Bay Blues. Got the blues for my baby living by the San Francisco Bay. Ocean liner, she gone so far away. Didn't mean to treat her so bad. Best gal I ever have had. Said goodbye, like to make me cry. I wanna lay down and die. Haven't got a nickel, ain't got a lousy dime. She don't come back, I think we're gonna lose my mind. She ever come back to stay? Spend another brand new day. Walking with my baby down by the San Francisco Bay. Baby, let me by the San Francisco Bay. Ocean liner, she gone so far away. I didn't mean to treat her so bad. She's the best gal I ever had. Said goodbye, like to make me cry. I want to lay down and die. Haven't got a nickel, ain't got a lousy dime. She don't come back, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. If she ever come back to stay, spend another brand new day. Walking with the baby. Walking with my baby. Riding, gliding, driving, sliding, talking with my baby down by the San Francisco Day.
Ramblin Jack Elliott, everybody.
Thank you very much. And especially thank you to my old friend, Jack Kerouac.
Thank you, Jack. Now, I don't know if anyone's going to speak here about the event, and I only know a little bit about it. But if no one's going to come up, this is a benefit for Jack Kerouac Library in Lowell, Massachusetts, as I understand it. But he lived in Mill Valley for a while, and that's why we thought it was appropriate to do this, or Maria and the Sweetwater, wonderful Sweetwater Music Hall. So we thank them so very much for this, and thanks so much for coming, everybody.
thank the Soviets and the mighty Chinese vets, the Allies, the whole wide world